Okay, we're gonna call the board to order. It is 9/25/2024. Time is 9:07. With me on the board today is Ms. Cheryl Renatza joining us remotely, and Mr. Steve Prater. My name is Pete Freeman. I will be the acting chair. Would staff at headquarters introduce themselves, please? Okay. Warden, who you have in there with you? Would staff at the jail please introduce themselves at EBR? Can they hear me?
I can hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay. What's your name, sir?
I'm Captain Barry Miles, Chief of Intake and Release.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We appreciate y'all having me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today we're here for the revocation hearing on TAVIN Carter. Mr. Carter, would you tell me your name and DOC number for the record?
Good morning. TAVIN Carter, 617677.
Okay, that's correct. Okay, Mr. Carter, did you have a parole questionnaire with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is that your signature on the bottom of it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you realize you're not eligible for appointed counsel. You want to proceed today or hire your own?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're gonna proceed. Okay, what I'm gonna do, Mr. Carter, I'm gonna read out the conditions you violated. At first, I just need you to either plead guilty or not guilty. And if you plead guilty, you can have a statement. We will let you explain the charges after we're complete. Your case has been assigned to Ms. Renata. So after we're complete, she will ask you the specific questions about it. Okay, you failed to refrain from criminal activity as evident by your arrest on 5/23/24 for the charge of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. On 7/31/2024, this charge was dismissed. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty.
Okay. All right. Condition number 5, as evident by your arrest on 5/23/2024, you were found to be in possession of a firearm. This charge was dismissed. How do you plead to 5?
Not guilty.
Okay. Condition number 10, you've not paid your supervision fees and an in arrears $1,952. How you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Okay. And number 13, special condition, complete a domestic abuse program. You are ordered to attend and complete a domestic abuse program on 1/25/2022 by the parole board. You only attended 3 classes and never went back. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Okay. As I said, your case has been assigned to Ms. Renatza. You have no one here today speaking. So Ms. Renatza, would you ask him any questions you have?
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Carter.
Good morning.
How long you been in jail, sir?
I believe 4 months.
And tell us what happened.
I had went to the store and a guy I knew, he wanted a ride home. So I gave him a ride home, and I ran the red light. And when I pulled over for the officer, the guy who was with me, he jumped out and ran, and he dropped his gun.
And what?
I came to jail, and he came up and did an affidavit with my lawyer and told my lawyer that was his gun, and he ran because he was a convicted felon.
How well did you know this guy?
We used to work together.
And so he was at your house and went with you when you left the store to go to the store?
No, he wasn't. No, I saw him at the store. and he wanted to ride home, so I gave him a ride home. Well, I was giving him a ride home.
Right. You were on the way home. Okay. I understand that. And I did see all the documentation about, his affidavit saying it was his and why he ran and all of that. It's a little concerning when I consider your original charge why you on supervision in the first place. You
Yes,
need to
ma'am.
be careful in that regard. Tell us why you didn't do the domestic violence program. You went to 3 of them.
Yes, ma'am. I had just came home from jail, and I had a job, but when I came to jail, I lost the job. So when I came home, my mama gave me a government phone that had, I guess, minutes on it. So I started doing the classes on the government phone, but the minutes ran out. So when the minutes ran out, I ain't have no money to put no minutes back on the phone. And I contact my parole officer, and I had let her know that, I've been trying to find another job because I had lost my job, and I just ain't have no more money to put on it. And I asked my parole officer, could I go to the class? But she told me it was in the middle of Corona. So they didn't have no class. I had to do it on the phone, and I ain't have no money put no more money on the phone to start the class.
So right before you came to jail, were you working?
Yes, ma'am.
So and what job were you working at?
I was working at the Hollywood Casino doing Revocation.
Doing what?
Revocation.
Okay. And how long have you had that job?
I had the job from, I came home from May 25th. I got the job at May 28th, and I had it all the way until the day I had went to jail.
May of what year? You went to jail May of this year.
No, I was talking about from the class. May 21 when I had that job.
And you had that job all the way till when you came to jail?
Yes, no, not this time right here, for the time for the domestic, when I'm supposed to take the class for the domestic. I was working from that time all the way until I went to jail. That's why I had to take that class. I ain't had to take that class for when I'm here for now.
Well, but if you were working all that time and you said you didn't have the money to take the class, I don't understand. I understand when you first got out, you had the minutes that you used up, but then you were working and you still didn't do it. That's why
that's after.
After what?
When I was working at first, and I went to jail. I went to jail. That's how I lost the job. So when the charge got dropped, I got out. I didn't have a job then.
Okay, so and then you're here on the because you were accused of having the possession of the firearm. You ran the red light. Were you working just prior to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you working?
I got I cut grass. I have my own lawn service, and I cut hair too.
You still work at Wendy's?
Yes, ma'am.
You were working at Wendy's?
I'm still working at Wendy's now.
What about the bar and grill?
Yes, ma'am. That's my own. I got my own security company too.
I find that very interesting.
Yes,
and you have six kids altogether?
Ma'am.
So tell us why you're behind on your fees.
When I came home, it took me a minute for get my money and stuff together. So when I did got my money together, I had kids, bills. My wife on here now, she got the lease showing that we both on the lease, and I just been trying. This bills been in insurance. I just I said for income tax I was go pay it off.
So with all your jobs, I see you have multiple jobs. How much you make in a month?
With my security company, in a month I make probably about $1,200.
And then you come home early because you deal with the kids in school and all that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right, I don't have any other questions, Mr. Freeman.
Okay, Mr. Prater, you have any questions?
Yes, sir. With your violent past, I'm concerned about the gun, so I want to ask you a few questions. Inside the car was a Glock 45 9mm. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I believe so. Yes, sir.
Okay. Right outside the car on the passenger side was a clip for a Smith & Wesson 40 caliber. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I believe so. Yes, sir.
So that's indication that there was two guns to me. So are you contending that your friend got in there with two guns?
Oh, I have no idea, but they say they found a gun and a clip. So he must have, sir.
Okay, so they found a gun and a clip inside the car and a different caliber clip right outside the car after your friend got out and ran.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, with your history of firearms and it's just hard for me to believe that you weren't tied to one of those guns or didn't know about it.
Well, I promise you I didn't. I ain't know nothing about it.
Okay, tell me about your security company. What do you do for a security company?
It's a bar, sports bar.
Okay.
I have the paperwork for it.
Right. And so you don't carry a gun when you're working in a bar, huh?
No, sir. They have cameras footage there. You can check the camera footage there the whole time I've been working there. No, sir.
But you own the company, is that right? You say it's your security company?
Yes, sir.
What's the name of it?
My nickname, TAVIN CARTER. Security.
Is that the only place that you provide security?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'm just troubled about two different caliber guns right there, and it doesn't make sense. And what's your friend's name?
Devin Richard.
Where does he live?
I think he lives somewhere off of Prescott. I was taking him home from the store, but he did the affidavit and said that was his. He said that was
right. He said the gun was his.
Yes, sir.
Did he say the clip was his?
Yes, sir. He said the clip was his too.
So he's carrying around a clip for a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson, and he leaves a Glock 9mm in your car with an extended clip, which is a big, it ends up being big.
Yes,
okay, sir. For those that might not know, it's hard to conceal a Glock 45 9mm with an extended clip. It's hard to conceal that, and to conceal a separate clip for a different kind of gun. And so you're saying he just walked up to the car and you said, "I'll give you a ride home." You didn't know he had either thing.
No, sir. I didn't know he have nothing on him. I pulled up to the store and he saw me and I know him. And he asked for a ride home. He said he stayed on Prescott. So I gave him a ride home. I ain't pat him down or nothing to see if he had a gun on him or not. I just gave him a ride home because I knew him.
Mm-hmm. Has he ever been arrested? He's a felon also, isn't he?
I think so, yes, sir.
Did you know he's a felon?
No, sir.
So this is kind of hard for me to believe, but I'm going to pass because that's all the questions I got.
I just have one question. This happened in May, you said?
Yes, sir. It happened May 23rd.
What was he wearing?
I think he had on black.
He have a coat on?
Yes, sir. I think he had a jacket on.
He had a jacket on in May, huh?
Hey, the camera.
I got a hard time like him believing that you didn't know he had a gun on him. I mean, especially in the clip, not hiding that under a jacket. Okay, I have no further questions. Ms. Renata, are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Well, I do want to advise that, when Drika Sharper, his fiance, is, on Zoom, but she did not wish to speak. But she is in here for his support. Okay, Mr. Knox, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Carter, I have the same concerns as when I look at the evidence that was processed that they recovered right outside the car and from the car, in spite of the affidavit that that the friend wrote, saying it was his gun. I have concerns about it. So my vote today is going to be to revoke your parole. I find you guilty of violating condition number 4, 5, 10, and 13.
Mr. Prater?
With Mr. Knox, that's unbelievable, and I don't you don't need to be anywhere near a gun, and it's apparent that you were near 2 guns. And I find you in violation of 4, 5, 10, and 13 also, and I vote to revoke you.
I concur. That'll end that hearing. And we, next up, we'll have Alan Walters.
Okay. Give me just a second. Okay, come on back. Hey, WINN. Okay, Mr. Walters. Whenever they're ready, I'm sure. You don't have to move up no further. If you move up any further, it's gonna cut your head off.
Oh, I got you. They've been denying other people.
Okay, we're back in session. Our next matter will be Mr. Alan Walters. He's here for a revocation hearing. Mr. Walters, state your name and DLC number for the record.
Alan Walters, 505-145.
Okay, Mr. Walters, do you have your parole questionnaire with you?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, you wish to proceed today without, I see you have an attorney. Okay. We have some people outside. We need to get them.
That's cool.
Hey, you can just have a seat right now.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Walters, as I stated, we're here for your revocation hearing. He's already, stated his DLC number and he advised that he does have the questionnaire. Okay, Mr. Walters, way this will happen is I'm gonna read the conditions that you violated. You plead guilty or not guilty with or without a statement. And, then following that, we will have, Mr. Warren Luke, a friend who is on Zoom, who will be speaking in support. Mr. Frank Burrow, your attorney, who's here at headquarters with us. And Miss Penny Oliver, your girlfriend, who is also here at headquarters with us. So I will call on you at the time. Attorney, I would expect you would like to go last.
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so, Mr. Walters, is it alleged that on 11/17/2023 and 12/22/2020,
I can't put it loud.
you were listed as a person of interest for domestic abuse battery? On 1/12/24, you were arrested and charged with domestic abuse battery. On 6/20/24, the state of Louisiana dismissed the charges against the accused under DC-24-00820. How do you plead to violating condition number 4?
I plead guilty as catching a charge.
Okay, guilty of catching the charge. Did you commit the charge?
No, sir, I didn't commit the crime, but I came to jail, so that would be in violation.
Right, but we're here today to see if we believe you committed it or not. So how do you plead?
Not guilty of the crime.
Okay, we have your attorney here and he's shaking his head in concurrence. So yeah, so he's pleading not guilty to number 4. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in and go to your supporters. Mr. Warrant Luke. Mr. Luke, can you hear us? I think you're probably muted, Mr. Luke. Can you hear us now? Mr. Luke. Mr. Luke, can you hear us? Luke is having some technical difficulties, so we're going to go on to the next witnesses to see if he can figure it out. And we'll come back to you, Mr. Luke. Next, we're going to go to Miss Oliver, your girlfriend. Miss Oliver, please stand up by the podium and tell us what you want us to know.
Yes, sir. I would just like y'all to know that I agree with Alan Walters. He has not hit me at all. Never had. If anything, he was my biggest supporter of everyone when I did suicide a few months prior. He marks that I might have had on me at the time. I have lupus and a lot of medicines. So I get bruised all the time. And so I had no marks from Alan. He never laid a hand on me. He was trying to leave to calm us down. And that's what he usually does. He's the one that always, anytime my bipolar and my depression hits, it's the one that calms us down so we can then talk about it. But I was flashing out pretty bad and he could not walk away and calm me down. Then I scared myself and his action scared me, but it wasn't on me because he didn't want to come at me. And he never has. I have no fear of him. And I really want.
Okay, do my fellow board members have any questions for Ms. Oliver?
Yeah.
Okay, seeing no questions, Ms. Oliver, thank you for appearing today. Okay, Mr. Luke, have you gotten in yet? Huh? Okay, we have Mr. Luke on the phone. Speak loud, Mr. Luke, because we're trying to record this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Luke, tell us what you want us to know about Mr. Oliver. Mr. Walker.
For a short time, during that time, got to know him as a good, honest person. He was with our daughter. He was always helpful, willing to help us in any way possible. I know he had problems in the past, but he's always been kind, courteous, respectful, and caring for our daughter. Seems to be a real nice person.
Okay. And your daughter, who's her name? Is that Miss Oliver?
Penny Oliver, exactly.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to make that straight for the record. Okay, we appreciate your comment. Okay, now we'll hear from his attorney.
Yeah, thank you very much for y'all's time today. I would just note that he was arrested back in January, and that the DA's office did not make the initial decision just merely no bill case. They instead took the time of reviewing the evidence, speaking with Ms. Oliver, and then determining that there was not sufficient evidence to move forward with the case, and then chose to dismiss the charges that were pending against him. Mr. Walters, who I've now been representing since he was arrested back in January, has maintained his innocence this entire time. I do think it would be, if the board does consider to not revoke his parole, I do think it would be in all parties' interest to require domestic violence classes. And after speaking with him, I know he is interested in doing domestic violence classes, whether or not that's mandated by the board, whether he is revoked today, and he gets out at a later time. He is willing to do domestic violence classes to further the relationship that he wants to maintain with Miss Oliver. Who's, and based on that, I would ask the board keep him on parole and not.
Okay. Ms. Renat, this case has been assigned to you. You have questions for the offender?
I do. Mr. Walters, good morning.
Good morning.
I do see we have in the record, Miss Oliver sent us several letters where she recanted everything she told the police. And so I wanted to ask you, I didn't ask her, but I want to ask you, why would she lie to the police about what happened, especially considering there's an indication of another offense in November where domestic abuse battery was also alleged then?
Well, I can't really speak for her. I do know that she was kind of really agitated that night and everything, and I know that her nerves was really bad, but I don't really want to speak for her. But I do know that she was beside herself that night.
Yeah, there was an indication in the record too, somewhere, that you were experiencing opioid withdrawal.
Yes, ma'am. I have in the past. Yes, ma'am. I have had drug problems in the past, and at that time I was yes, ma'am. I was using a little bit, and yes, ma'am. I was having withdrawals in the past.
So you remember everything about that day, that night,
yes,
whatever it was. And what was the argument start about? What was it about?
Whenever she came home, I was laying on the couch, and she felt like I shouldn't have been laying down. I should have been up and cleaning up or something. I believe they had some dirty dishes in the sink, and she expected those to be done whenever she had got home, and they wasn't. So I think she kind of got aggravated that I was laying down instead of up doing something.
Pretending to be asleep.
Yes, ma'am.
What was and what about the cell phone argument?
Well, the cell phone incident, that was actually my cell phone that I had broke. There was no argument really over the cell phone. I just broke my cell phone. It wasn't hers. She thought it was hers at first, but then she had found out it was not hers. She actually had misplaced her phone herself.
All right. I'm just confused because I have everything that there's several versions of what happened. And I do realize that Miss Oliver, recanted and says that the whole episode was caused by her own issues, her own mental health issues. But the officers did report visible signs of abuse.
No, I've never struck her. She came at me, and I had put my hands up, to kind of get her away from me, to get her to stop hitting me. But no, I've never struck her at all.
Where did the blood come from in the house?
From me. I have a cut on my hand. All the blood was mine. I had cut my hand actually hitting a picture that was broke on the wall, as you can see in some pictures. If you have them, they had broken glass, and whenever I had hit a picture, I had cut my hand.
So you hit the picture, you didn't hit her?
No, ma'am. I had broke a picture. Yes, ma'am.
Because you were mad.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I'm not gonna say I wasn't mad.
Mm-hmm. What's your current relationship with Miss Penny?
I I look at her as my girlfriend because I don't really look as any other girlfriend. She's my best friend. Ultimately, I want her to ultimately be my girlfriend and everything, but we're both going. You know, we both have our own selves we got to worry about right now. So she's my best friend. She's my only friend. She's
Right.
the
You live together? That's your plan?
yes, ma'am. If all possible, yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, sir, for talking to me. I don't have any other questions, Mr. Freeman.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Prater, you have any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, I have no questions, either. So now, Ms. Renata, are you ready to vote?
I am. Mr. Walters, I don't know who to believe. You know, I do believe what's in the police reports. I believe to some degree what Ms. Oliver, the information she provided, particularly about her, you know, having some of her own issues. I'm concerned about violence in the household. My vote today is going to be to revoke your parole. I find you guilty of violating condition number 4.
Hey, Mr. Prater?
I concur.
Um, okay, and I also concur, find that you are in violation of condition number 4. You have 8 months in, so they'll refigure your time, and then we'll see what happens. But today your parole has been revoked.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Look,
Thank y'all for your
with
time.
the 8 months, he's gonna be out.
Hey, where you at? Okay, I'm done, but I need to go up front. They say I need to go and talk to what is this
Okay, the parole board is called back to order. We will be moving to Riverbend Detention Center. Would the staff at Riverbend introduce themselves, please? Is there any staff with you at Riverbend? We can't hear you, ma'am. Can you unmute your mic? What is her name?
Okay, I'm from Natchitoches.
Okay, and what's your name, ma'am?
I'm Shakita Thompson.
Okay, Ms. Thompson.
We were Natchitoches Detention Center.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. My name is Pete Freeman. I'll be the acting chair today. We had Riverbend, you're next.
Riverbend, my name is Lieutenant Johnny.
Okay. Lieutenant Johnny?
Johnikin, Johnikin.
Okay. All right. Sorry for that. Okay, so now we're at Riverbend. Okay, we're here for today for a revocation hearing on Mr. TAVIN Andrews. My name is Pete Freeman. Along with me is Ms. Renata and Mr. Prater. Joining me remotely here at headquarters, we have. Okay. All right. Mr. Andrews, please state your name and DLC number for the record.
TAVIN Andrews, 705-541.
Mr. Andrews, do you have a parole questionnaire with you?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll put one up on the screen. Tell me if this is your signature.
Yes, sir.
You got one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you sign it and not request appointed counsel?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you ready to proceed today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today I'll read the conditions that you are alleged to have violated. You plead guilty or not guilty with or without a statement. We will speak with you, and after that, I'll let your supporters speak. We have Chloe Fruge, child's mother, Doneen Bowles, your mother, and Tori Bowles, your sister. They will all speak when I call on them after we go through the conditions. Okay, it is alleged, Mr. Matthews, that you on or about 6/23/24, you were arrested by the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office for committing the offense of domestic abuse battery. The charge was rejected. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty.
All right. Now we'll go to your speakers. Mr. Fruge, Chloe Fruge, the child's mother. What do you have to say about Ms. Andrews? You still on mute?
Okay.
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 All right.
Just what I have to say about the situation.
Yes, ma'am.
I think the whole situation was a misunderstanding. The altercation that me and Tyron got into was never physical. We did get into an argument, and I did call the cops, but I just wanted them to get him to leave our apartment because we were arguing. I think it escalated into something that it shouldn't have been. And I feel that Tyron needs to come home. His daughter misses him and he misses his daughter. And
So you're not afraid of him, Miss Fruit?
not at all.
Okay. Did he batter you that day? Was there any physical contact?
Not at all, sir. It was just arguing and it did escalate to yelling, but it was nothing physical.
Okay. So the witnesses that said he dragged you inside, you're saying that didn't happen?
No, sir, that did not happen.
Okay. Do any of my colleagues have any questions? Okay, seeing that they have no questions, we'll move on to Mr. Donine Bowles, subject's mother. Ms. Bowles, can you get in? Ms. Bowles? All right. Yeah, I don't see Miss Bowles. Tori Bowles, your sister, Miss Tori, are you there?
Hi, yes.
Okay, tell us what you want us to know about your brother.
My brother is a very good father and a provider, and unfortunately, him and his girlfriend, his child's mother, got into an argument that led to yelling, and it's a huge misunderstanding. Our daughters are 4 months apart, and I know I see different things and milestones in her every day. So I can only imagine how many milestones he's missed with his own daughter. And if he doesn't have any official charges, and they've been rejected, I really do hope that he can make it home and, just learn to like, hey, let's just sit down and talk versus getting to escalated situation. But yeah, we love you, Tyron, and hopefully y'all can see that he's a good father, a good brother, a good son, and he's been gone way too long already.
Okay. Miss Donine Bowles, did you get in yet?
No, it's I'm trying to my phone is acting crazy. I'm gonna sign in on the computer.
But I can hear you right now. So what do you have to say about your son?
Oh, my son is a really good father. And like I said, an uncle to my granddaughter. I just feel like it was a huge misunderstanding. From what I'm hearing was a verbal altercation. I just really feel like he needs to come home. He has a lot. He was going on. He was getting ready to start plumbing school, etc. So this has put a huge halt on everything. And I don't feel like he needs to be in there. He's working on his life way too long, and he's been for a lot with my oldest daughter just get cancer. So he really.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, your case has been assigned to me, Mr. Andrews, so I'll be leading in the questioning. Tell me what happened that day. What went on 6/23/2024?
That morning, June 23rd, it was a Sunday morning. I woke up. My girlfriend, my fiance, she went through my phone and she was worried about text messages in my phone. So she just accused me overall of cheating on her. And I kept telling her I'm not cheating on you or anything like that. And, it just kept getting louder and louder. And she said, you are doing this. I have proof. I let her go through my phone. She just was just infuriated, and I mean, there's nothing I could do. I mean, I'm not a very confrontational person. So the only thing I could decide to do was leave.
The Louisiana Code of Governmental Ethics for Public Servants.
As far as I left, I came back from the gas station and I seen that the police officers were leaving. And when they were leaving, like, it's a very private apartment complex that we stay in at. So I approached them as they were leaving and they were asking me my name. So I just showed them my ID. And they said, "Oh, we were looking for you." And I said, "Well, what seems to be the problem?" And then they asked me about my daughter. They asked me about her. They asked me, did I get into a small altercation with her? And I just told her, yeah, we were arguing, but I just left. And then they detained me. And then I was just sitting on the ground. And then moments later, they told me I was being arrested for domestic abuse battery. And what do I have to say about it? And I said, I never committed I never hit my girlfriend. I never did anything to her. And then they were talking about what's wrong with the scratches on her knees and just asking me questions. And I said, that's really private, sexual content. And then he just told me to sit in the back of the truck. And then I was arrested. And I talked to my parole officer. And she told me I wasn't allowed to defer myself. And then after they told me that I didn't have any more charges, they told me that I had to go in front of the parole board because of my previous charges that I pled guilty to, that I've been on.
All right, let me ask you this. How did the bruises get there? I mean, was there any physical confrontation? And tell me the truth now.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. That's embarrassing, but it was all sexual content. I don't put my hands on anybody in any confrontation I get into.
All right, because like I say, cops saw it and a witness claims they saw it. Okay, I have no further questions for you. Do any of my colleagues have a question?
Nope.
Okay. Is the panel ready to vote? Okay, I'll be voting first because this is my case. You know, Mr. Andrews, you gotta watch these things. You're on parole. Anytime the cops get called, you're gonna get arrested. And if you get arrested, we're gonna hold you. And especially for domestic abuse battery, because we take it very, very seriously. And you could be revoked, even though the charges were rejected. But today, and I'm not gonna revoke you, but I am going to add the special condition that you go to anger management, just in case there's some problems here. And I would suggest that if y'all need counseling, y'all need to go together because we don't need this to keep happening. So that's my vote today, not to revoke and add a special condition of anger management. Ms. Renatza?
I agree. My vote also is do not revoke with the added special condition that he enroll in complete anger management. And I concur with your suggestion about counseling together.
Okay. Mr. Prey?
I concur with my colleagues.
Okay. All right, Mr. Andrews, today your parole has not been revoked. You'll be released. You need to go to your probation officer and see where you can take this anger management class. If you live around Lake Charles, I know they got a day reporting center there and they can teach you the class there. So good luck to you, sir.
Love you, Tyron.
Board is back in session. My name is Pete Freeman. I'm the acting chair. Along with me is Ms. Cheryl Renatza, joining us remotely, and Mr. Steve Prater joining us remotely. We're here today for the revocation hearing of Kevin Hilson. Kevin, could you state your name and DOC number for the record? Kevin, can you hear me? Need to be unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. All right, Kevin, state your name and DOC number for the record.
My name is Kevin Hilson. DOC number is 722034.
Okay, Mr. Hilton. Today we're here for a revocation hearing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the violations. You are to plead guilty or not guilty with or without a statement. You have no witnesses present, so after you do that, your case has been assigned to Mr. Prater. He will ask you some questions, and then we will vote. Do you understand how this proceeding goes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. It is alleged that you violated condition number 3. You absconded supervision as of 12/14/2023. Your casework was transferred to West Baton Rouge District after a new address was being provided of 2022 North Lobdell, Port Allen, Louisiana, 70767. West Baton Rouge District responded with information about your address. Or the supervision request indicated your supposed address was a trailer park. You did not include the trailer number. Multiple attempts were made to contact you via all listed phone numbers and case files. All numbers were inactive. How do you plead to that violation?
I'm pleading not guilty, sir, but am I allowed to make a statement about that situation?
Time you will. Okay, number 3, not guilty.
But I mean,
okay, just wait. We're gonna come back to it. We're gonna come back to it. Let me read all the violations. Okay, number 4, a parole warrant was issued for your arrest on 12/30/23 due to your absconding from supervision. On 12/14/2023, you were arrested by the Baton Rouge Police Department on 4/30/24 and charged with domestic abuse battery. On 8/7/24 under EBR DC-24-02133, you pled guilty to disturbing the peace by fistic encounter and was sentenced to 90 days in parish prison. How do you plead to that charge?
I plead not guilty to the domestic abuse.
Okay. And then lastly, you did not make yourself available to be seen at the residence by not staying in contact, providing full new address in order to be seen. How do you plead to that charge?
It's
kind of like number 3. We'll ask you questions. How do you plead?
I'm saying not guilty, sir. I mean, I do have a statement to make though, as soon as I can.
Right now. Okay, your case has been provided to, has been assigned to Mr. Prater. Mr. Prater, would you ask him any questions that you have for him, sir?
Okay, Mr. Hilson, now may be the time for you to make your statement because it may help me out, but my first question's about not being available for probation or parole officers to find you. It's their job to be available to you. It's your job to be available to them. It appears they were available, but that you weren't. And that's a violation of your parole. Tell me why they got a warrant for your arrest for not being available.
Okay, Mr. Prater, sir. That was really just a miscommunication error that happened. I've never been on parole before. But if you have my file in front of you, you see when I first came home, I got a job, I applied. I was in step with you guys, the complete step of the way. When I saw them in July of last year. That's when I informed my parole officer at the time that I was still living in West Baton Rouge because I was working over there as well. I did provide them with the address to the 2022 North Lobdell address. It was trailer lot 98. I know I gave them the address, and that's when they informed me that I may have to switch to West Baton Rouge's supervision. I really didn't want to do that. I was fine with work staying in the EBR supervision. The next month, I moved back to Baton Rouge to my address at 5142 Sleepy Hollow Drive in Shenandoah. I was over there from August until the time that I was arrested in April. I came in and they called me in to probation and parole on December 14th. I came in to see, that's when I met my new parole officer. It was a female at the time. I only met her that one time I came in. I gave her the new address. At the time, I did have 2 phone numbers. I had my number, the 302 number that I already had when I first came home from prison. It was still a good number. I remember she asked me, was that still a good, valid number at the time? It was. I had also just started another, I got a government line too. I own that part that she asked me, was it a good number, the first one? At the time, it still was. I didn't know that I didn't give her this other number, but I did give her the current address that I gave. She wrote it on a blue sticky note and stuck it to the front of the file. She told me that just come if I call, stay out of trouble. And she said, as far as the fees and stuff go, she said, you don't get off parole until your early date is in March of 26. Just make sure you have that paid up before your parole date comes full term. I told her I can do that. So that was the last time I seen them. Now, I never knew that I had a warrant out for a scoundrel or anything of that nature because, I was stopped by 3 different police agencies in that time. I was stopped by Ascension Parish Sheriff's Department, EBR Sheriffs, and the day I came to prison, I came to jail, Baton Rouge City Police Office. Nobody had a warrant out for absconding. I would have gladly came back in and tried to rectify that situation because I don't do any of the offending that I used to do, anything like that. So I changed my life. I've been in step the whole way. That was just a miscommunication error that if the board was to have mercy on me for this, it would never happen again. I've never been on parole, so I just thought that they still had my number, the other number. But I always felt that she has my address, or if they needed me to come in or anything, that they would if they couldn't call me, they would either send some correspondence to my home or just pull up at my address. I didn't know that, and then I never knew that I had a warrant out for a scoundrel or anything like that because I seen them December 14th. It said that the warrant was out December 30th, but I had contact with 3 different law enforcement agencies in that time. I never knew that I had a warrant out for a scoundrel. I would gladly take care of that.
Okay. When you got out of prison, were you told you had to remain in contact with parole officers?
Yes, sir. I was in contact with my parole officer. Yes, sir, I did. They just called me.
That's all. Okay. Did they tell you how often?
I don't remember exactly when the time frame was. Whenever he called me, I would come in or he would pull up at my job, the original parole officer, sir. And I would just went along with it that way. I just knew that I needed to stay out of trouble and don't commit any felonies, crimes, or violate it. That's my
okay. Did you live at a trailer park?
Yes, sir. When I gave them that address, I was at the 415 trailer park on North Lobdell in West Baton Rouge.
Okay. Okay. Did you give him a trailer number?
Yes, sir. I always give complete, accurate information. I gave him trailer lot 98.
He says that you didn't. And is it the responsibility of the parole officer to find you?
No,
and
sir.
to tell and to call you? How can they call you if you change your phone number?
No, sir. That's my responsibility. But I'm saying.
Okay, so you're guilty of that. Is that not? You're guilty of not staying in touch with your parole officer. Is that correct?
In that sense, sir, yes, sir. But I'm just saying that.
Okay, let's move on. And this is a particular aggravates me when people get out of prison and they're told to stay in touch with their parole officer and they don't do it. The simplest thing that there is to do, and you don't follow that rule. Okay, let's move on to the domestic violence thing. A witness called the Baton Rouge Police Department, and they said that somebody got out of a car and that they had a bloody nose and appeared to have a beat up face. And they went in a motel room or something, or apartment or motel room, I think it was. And then another person got out of the car, followed them inside. And this complainant felt like that something was wrong. East Baton Rouge, I think it's the Baton Rouge Police Department, showed up, found your girlfriend or your spouse, I'm not sure which, hiding in a bathroom with a bloody nose, a bruised eye, forehead, a bruised nose, and something wrong with the eye, bruised up eye, and that you were in the same bathroom, but you were hiding behind a shower curtain. Is all that right?
To a certain extent, yes, sir. But it's not. That's not what happened. I mean, I can tell you.
That part, we hadn't got into how she got the injuries, but that part's right. Everything's right so far, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now tell me how she got the injuries.
It was actually April 29th, 2029, I mean 2023 or 24. I mean, that's the day that this all happened. We were leaving the house, where I was going by my friend. We were going by our mutual friends of ours. And we had been arguing that morning about just financial things and stuff that's going on around the house, bills and the normal stuff. So I was driving the car, and we were in the car. We were having an argument about things, and she cracked my phone screen. So she was playing on her. Like, I took it from her while I was driving. I said, I'm just gonna just use this one. I really actually wasn't gonna keep it, but she freaked out. She started tapping me. Now we're in a 2004 Nissan Pathfinder Armada. She's only like 5 feet tall, sir. She put her back to the door and started kicking me as I'm driving down the freeway, down the highway. Man, she's cracking, kicking, scratching, and launching, trying to get the phone back while I'm driving. Now, we were coming up to Old Hammond and Cedar Crest at the time, and she was still attacking and kicking and lunging at me, and I'm driving with my left hand. I got her phone in my right hand, and she's getting ready to launch at me again. I put my hand up instinctively to stop her from coming, and that's how she got hit in the nose. When I made it to the stoplight, I looked over at her, and I seen she had her nose was bleeding. I told her that. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you in the nose, but she said, that's when she looked me dead in my eyes and said that I'm gonna show you. And my exact words was, what? You're not gonna show me shit. That's what excuse my language, but that's what I told her. And then we just had a few more words back and forth. I made it around the corner. I pulled up at the room where my friend was. I parked the car. As soon as I parked the car, she jumps out and puts on the scene saying, somebody called 911 or whatever. Like, I look at her like, what? I get out the car. The guy that was standing outside his door, I walk up to him. I'm like, sir, she isn't in no danger, there's nothing going on. It's not what you're thinking. Give him my business. I proceed to go back to my truck. I got my PlayStation out the car. I got my screen. I grabbed my backpack. She went back to the truck. She did the same thing on her own, and she followed me up the stairs. And we went into the room, and I just left it alone from there. Like, she wasn't in any danger. When I guess he did call the cops, when they knocked on the room door, it actually was her idea to try to hide me in the bathroom. Like, that's the reason why I guess she realized what the guy actually called the cops. So she tried to put me in the bathroom and hide me in there. She didn't want me to even come outside. That's why I was in the bathroom or in the hiding behind the shower curtain when they came in. Like,
Okay. You wearing me out with words here. Okay. Is she on parole?
No, sir, I am.
Okay, she's not the one on parole, so she didn't place you in that bathtub. She's 5 foot tall. You went in that bathtub and hid from the police yourself, right?
Yes, sir. I hid it.
Kind of like you hid from the parole officer.
I wasn't hiding from the parole officer, sir.
Okay.
Mr.
All right. I don't have anything else.
Mr. Nazi, you have any questions?
No, sir, I don't. Thank you.
I don't either. So, Mr. Prater, are you ready to vote?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Prater?
My vote is to revoke his parole. I think he's in violation of number 3, 4, and 9. And that's it.
Mr. Nazi?
I do agree. My vote is to revoke for I find he's violated conditions number 3, 4, and 9.
And I concur. Your parole has been revoked today, sir. Good luck to you. We're signing out of Riverbend Detention Center. Thank you, sir, for your hospitality. go. All right, parole board is back in session. It's 9/25/24. Our next case is going to be Mr. Paul PARINAS. My name is Pete Freeman. I'm the acting chair. Along with me is Mr. Prater and Ms. Renatza joining by Zoom. Today, as I stated, we are here for the parole hearing on Paul PARINAS. Would the staff at WINN Parish Jail please introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Colby Risen. I'm the assistant warden.
Okay, Risen. Thank you, Mr. Risen. Anyone else there with you, Mr. Risen?
Yeah. Yes, I have the warden here too.
Hello, my name's Don Reedy, and I'm the warden at WPDC.
Reedy?
Yes,
How
reading the book, sir.
Okay.
R-E-D-I-N-G.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate y'all hospitality today. Okay, Mr. PARINAS, would you please state your name and DLC number for me, please?
Paul PARINAS, 172985.
Okay, the way this is gonna go is that I'm gonna speak to you first, and then we'll let anybody for speak, which we have no one here in favor. We do have opposition, Mr. Randall Myers, Assistant District Attorney Jefferson, and Edna Amos, victim's mother, is here with us at headquarters, will be speaking, and Joanne Barton, victim's aunt, is here at headquarters but will not be speaking. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. PARINAS, tell us, why do you think we should parole you, and what you did to get yourself in this situation?
Committed a crime of manslaughter.
Okay, be a little bit more specific than that. I mean, what did you do? What happened?
The crime of manslaughter against my wife, Delinda Amos.
And why should we let you out?
I've done a lot productively through the years of being incarcerated. Been involved in a lot of programs, classes, mentoring, tutoring, and I think I'm a different person than I was when I first came in. Mindset, way of thinking, compassionate, and I would ask the board to please consider granting me a shot at another chance in society.
Okay. All right. First, we'll go to the victim's mother. To approach the podium, please, ma'am. Please state your name and relationship, ma'am.
My name is Edna Amos. I'm Delinda Amos' mother.
Okay, Ms. Amos, tell us what you want us to know, and please try to hold it under 5 minutes.
He objected. When he first did it, he said he had 30 years flat. He said the crime that she electrocuted herself. Her 11-year-old son found her body in the tub. She not just raising her 3 kids, but also his 2 daughters. She would never ever get a chance to see her children graduate, get married, see her grandchildren. And he had audacity to say he's a changed person. I don't think so. Because my oldest grandchild still have nightmares, and he's 31 years old. And for a child to find his mother in that condition is beyond belief. You know, I don't think he needs to be, he needs to do his whole 30 that they claim that he was supposed to be doing.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you coming today. Next, we'll have Mr. Randall Myers, Assistant DA Jefferson Parish.
Good morning, Randall Myers, Assistant DA in Jefferson. We're opposed to Mr. FARINAS' request for parole. As you just heard, as victim opposition, Mr. FARINAS, as noted in the judge in his opposition, had entered into a negotiated plea to serve 30 years for a violent, intentional, and carefully planned murder. and he staged a scene to try to make it look like an accident. And looking at what he's done since incarcerated, it doesn't appear that he's taken sufficient programs to warrant a release. The record shows that he's completed Living in Balance, True Freedom Program, and Anger Management. So based on that and the victim opposition, we are opposed to his request.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, this case has been assigned to Mr. Prater. Mr. Prater, would you lead us off in questioning?
All right, Mr. Firenas, tell us, I know you must not like to talk much, but I'm gonna try to pull it out of you. What have you learned in your classes about victims and victimization and that sort of thing?
Victimization, I guess is another form of bullying. I've learned compassion. That is not right. Helping people more, listening, understanding, finding out more about myself. And finding out more about myself enabled me to be able to help others with different facilitating of classes that I've done since being incarcerated. And I've strengthened in them areas since being incarcerated and involving myself with different programs to enable me to be able to speak to you today and stating that, you know, I'm not the same person I was when I first entered prison.
Okay. Well, anytime you've been somewhere 20 years, you're not the same person that you were before. You've got some good letters from staff at the prison and the sheriff's office. You got some good letters. You got some victim opposition, DA and law enforcement. You've only served 20 years of a 30-year sentence, and you took a plea bargain. What were you originally charged with?
Second-degree murder.
Okay. How did let me pull it out of you. How did your wife get the curling iron when she's in the bathtub?
To be honest, sir, I wasn't even at the residence when that happened. This is stuff I discovered through the first stages of when it started unfolding, and I wasn't even at the residence when it happened. I don't know how to truthfully answer that for you.
Did you provide her with the curling iron? I mean, you pled guilty to manslaughter. How did she get the curling iron?
That was a device that was in the household.
Did you have anything to do with her death?
No, sir, I didn't.
That's all the questions I got.
Okay, Ms. Renata, do you have any questions?
Mr. Farinas, how old were you when this happened?
I'm 30, 31.
Mm-hmm. And how old was your wife?
29.
How old was I'm sorry.
29, I think.
Okay. No, I don't have any questions, Mr. Freeman. Thank you.
Yeah, I just have one question. I see in the record that you were removed from state police. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And why were you removed from state police?
It was a fight with another inmate.
And that was in 2015?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Prater, it was your case. You'll go first.
Okay, Mr. Farinas, it's kind of an unusual situation because you're still denying something that you pled guilty to, and that puts us in a kind of an awkward position in a way, but it makes it simple also. You served 20 years of a 30-year sentence. It was a gruesome crime. The 11-year-old could have been electrocuted when they found their mom. You don't seem to have a lot of remorse for what occurred, at least that I could hear, and you have no admission that you had anything to do with it. And so something you just pled guilty to. I have no question of what my vote is going to be, and that is to deny your parole.
Ms. Renatza?
I agree. My vote is to deny parole based on the negotiated plea and the opposition expressed today.
Okay, and my vote is the same due to law enforcement and victim opposition and the plea bargain. Mr. Pinas, your parole has been denied. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
And we're signing off at WINN Parish. Thank you, WINN, for accommodating.
Thank you.
Parole. Okay, the parole board is called back to order. We are now at Rapides Parish Detention Center. My name is Pete Freeman. I'm the acting chair. Along with me is Ms. Renatza and Mr. Prater. They'll be serving on the panel. We're here today for the parole hearing on Bennie Walker. Would Rapides Parish staff introduce yourself, please? Rapides.
How are you doing? My name is Bennie Walker. Bennie Walker.
Okay. Anybody in there with you, Mr. Walker?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. That's okay. We're gonna proceed. Okay, Mr. Walker, today we're here for your parole hearing. State your name and DOC number for the record, please.
My name is Bennie Walker III, DOC number 380215.
Okay. Mr. Walker, I'm gonna read some information into the record. You were convicted of vehicular homicide. You were sentenced to serve 25 years in the Department of Corrections. You have a parole date of 1/13/2024. You have an adjusted good time date of 7/17/2025 and a full term date of 10/13/2042. Does that information sound correct?
Yes, sir.
And you are a fourth felony offender. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, Walker. Tell me what happened to get you here, and why do you think we should let you out today?
Because I take full responsibilities of everything. I made a big mistake by getting in that truck that night. And I'm so sorry for the family, for me putting them through the tragedy that they went through. And I have rehabilitated myself. I'm a better person now. And I'm ready for society. I have a job waiting on me and a place to live.
Okay. We're going to go on to the people that are opposed because we have no one here in favor. Miss Deborah Williams is the victim's mother. She's here at headquarters, but she does not wish to speak. Mr. Damon Smart, victim's son, is also here at headquarters and did not wish to speak. And Miss Tracy Barbera, Assistant District Attorney for East Baton Rouge Parish, is here and would like to speak. Ms. Barbera?
Good morning, Mr. Freeman. Thank you. Just a couple of quick comments. I do appreciate Mr. Walker's full acceptance of responsibility. He is very fortunate that his good time calculations have him postured to be released next year without even the necessity of a parole hearing. I honestly don't quite understand that, but it is what it is. When I first saw it, Ms. Renatza, you'll appreciate this. I really wanted to call Henry Goins and ask him to explain it to me. I miss that institutional knowledge.
Yeah.
But I would like to clarify one thing that's in the pre-parole investigation. It said that for his December 1st, 2015 DWI arrest by BRPD, there was no record found. Mr. Walker, actually, that case was pending in Baton Rouge City Court at the time of this vehicular homicide. He did go into court in November of 2017, which was 1 month after this vehicular homicide, and plead guilty to that DWI. So he that was pending, and I just wish that would have been the wake-up sign for him that he needed to not drink and drive. So all that being said, I would just respectfully ask that he stay in prison until his good time release date next year. Thank you.
Okay. This case has been assigned to Ms. Renatza. Do you have any questions for the offender?
I have just a couple. Good morning, Mr. Walker.
Good morning. How are
And
you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. And you?
I'm doing okay.
Good. I appreciate you accepting responsibility for what happened. And what you mentioned in your statement that you have rehabilitated yourself. How have you done that?
By getting myself together and going to my classes and stuff.
What classes?
I went to AA. I went to Celebration Recovery, Cajun Rage, Alcohol Anonymous. I went to Narcotic Anonymous, Substance Abuse.
So you when I looked at the reports regarding this, what happened, I see where you admitted to you had 4 8-ounce Budweiser beers that night. That's all you had?
That's all I can remember at the time. I maybe had more, I can't remember.
Okay, and you fell asleep.
Yes, ma'am.
And you admitted then at the time of your arrest to being an alcoholic and needing help.
Yes, ma'am.
What took you so long to do that? I mean, I agree with the district attorney. I wish the previous DWI would have woke you up.
Right.
Miss Shepherd might still be alive.
That first DWI, I wasn't. They just gave it to me because they seen an open container in my car. I wasn't drunk or nothing like that.
Hmm.
That's why I pleaded guilty to it, to get it over with.
Okay. All right. Your criminal history concerns me quite a bit. It includes arrest and some convictions, but I see, battery of a police officer, possession of Schedule II, home invasion, and those are concerning to me. I don't have any other questions. I too see that you've done well with earning about a year's worth of good time. You have a good time date, which is July of next year. You seem to be doing, are you in work release?
Yes, ma'am.
You seem to be doing well there. I noticed you were in work release in Morehouse Parish. What happened? Why did you get moved out of Morehouse work release?
They just moved me.
Okay. And you've been here in work release in Rapide since April?
Yes, ma'am. I work at Marco's plywood and plant. They fool plywood up there. That's where I work at now.
Okay.
That's where I've been since I've been here.
All right. Well, good. Seem to be doing well. I don't have any other questions. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Thank you. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Mr. Prater, do you have any questions?
No, sir, I don't. I want to tell him I appreciate the what he's done since he's been incarcerated. However, I also want to talk to the victims just for a second and tell them that he's going to be released next year no matter what. And it's unfortunate because that's the state law. It has nothing to do with the Department of Corrections. It has nothing to do with law enforcement, nothing to do with anybody but the state law. And so I just wanted to let them know that hopefully the law has been changed now and it's not going to be quite so easy. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure they understood that.
Okay. So you wasn't on the speaker list. Can I allow him to speak? Does some wish to say a word, or are we ready to vote?
We'd like to hear from him.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
He can't walk real well, so.
We can hear him.
He's gonna talk to us from his chat. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, I have a question. So, what's his name?
Mr. Prater?
No.
I'll answer your questions after. I'll answer your question. Okay, I will answer his questions afterwards. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Renata, you will lead off in the voting.
Yes, I'm ready to vote. Mr. Walker, my vote's going to be to deny your parole. You heard the opposition that we told you is in the record, the opposition by the district attorney, the proximity of your release date, which is July 17th of next year. My vote today is going to be to deny your parole. I would also add the stipulation that after release, we add a special condition to your good time release certificate that you have no contact with the victim's family.
Okay, Mr. Prater?
Concur with Mr. Natsa.
Okay, and I also concur, and I'd also like to put a special condition in the good time that any court-ordered restitution be paid while he's on diminution of sentence. And he's in work release, but we'll check into that. So today, his parole has been denied. Okay, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
We're signing off at Rapid Detention Center.
Man.
Okay. Board is called back to order. My name is Pete Freeman. I'm the acting chair. Along with me is Ms. Renatza and Mr. Prater. Today we're here for the parole hearing on Charles Jones. With the folks in Natchitoches, would the staff introduce themselves, please?
Yes, this is Shakitha Thompson in Natchitoches.
Okay. What's your title, Ms. Thompson?
I'm the finance specialist.
Okay.
I'm stepping in for Ms.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, Mr. Jones, please give me your name and DLC number.
Yes, sir. Charles Jones, 495599.
Okay. Mr. Jones, I'm gonna read some information into the record. You advise me if I have anything that you disagree with. I have Mr. Jones classified as a first felony offender with a parole date of 9/25/2024. Full term date of 10/29/2028. I'm gonna correct myself. Your parole date is 1/27/2025. Full term date is 10/29/2028. You're in there for 25 years on the charge of forcible rape. Does that all sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Jones, tell me what you did to get yourself into this situation and why do you think we should let you out today?
First of all, I made a decision that I shouldn't have made. And I think you should let me out because over the last 21 years, I take responsibility for what I did. And I did everything I can to better myself. Due to the nature of my charge, I wasn't offered many programs, but the ones that I were offered, I took. I got my GED. I graduated college. Took a risk management class. I completed a inter-work program for the airmail company in which I work for right now. And if given the chance, like I say, I spent 21 years of my life behind bars for a decision that I shouldn't have made. And if given a chance, I won't make a decision again, and I won't let y'all down. I know y'all probably heard all this before, but I'm asking not to be judged by my actions, judged by those that came before me. Because I know there's a lot that messed up and, came back, but, that's not me.
Okay. Mr. Jones, what was your original charge?
They had me aggravated rape.
Okay, and you pled to forcible rape?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 45, sir.
I've been assigned your case, so I'm going to lead in questioning when we get to that. But right now, let's speak to those who are in opposition. Miss Jonetta Anderson, victim's mother.
Yes.
When we came in, they asked us whether we were in support or opposition. I said that I wanted to hear everything before I made that decision, but they put us on the opposition side. My daughter is now 28 years old, and I leave the decision to her to speak for herself at this point.
Okay. Your daughter had not requested to speak. Do you want to speak now, Ms. Holmes?
I can.
Okay, what do you want us to know, Ms. Holmes?
I just want you guys to know that whether he's granted parole or denied, he's gonna have to come home anyways. anyway. So whether it's now or in the next 4 years, he's coming home. I don't feel threatened. You know, it is something major that has transpired, but he has been there 21 years. And I trust that he changed and that, you know, he come home whenever it is, he comes home and he just does what he has to do to continue hopefully bettering himself.
All right.
And that's all I have to say.
Okay, Mr. Randall Meyer.
Good morning, Randy Meyer. The District Attorney's Office is strongly opposed to his request for parole. Mr. Jones raped a 7-year-old child. He faced aggravated rape charges and faced at least a life sentence. He pled guilty to forcible rape and was given to 25 years. We look at what he's done since he's been incarcerated, and you know, it's very concerning that he actually has a pretty decent, pretty good conduct report, except back in 2016, he had a sex offense. That is very concerning to me. He has not taken sex offender treatment. That's very concerning to me. I think, actually, I think Mr. Jones should spend his life in jail, but he got the break and sentenced to 25 years under the forcible rape statute. I spoke with Miss Holmes, the victim, yesterday, and she agreed with me that he should not, if he is released on parole, which again, we're opposed to, that he have no contact with her or her children. They are family, so we can't say that he has no contact with her family, but at least with her and her children, there should be no contact. But again, we are strongly opposed to his request. We think he needs additional programming before he's released. And the 2016 sex offense is very concerning. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. Your case has been assigned to me, so I'll be leading in the questions, Mr. Jones. First and foremost, I wanna ask, have you completed the 4 phases of sex offender treatment?
No, sir, I haven't been anywhere where I was offered that program.
Yeah, because we definitely need to get you to that program. It's you know, it's very concerning to me that you haven't had that program. It's real good and it's something that needs to be completed. Okay, so Mr. Jones, do you admit that what went on happened? You did molest Miss Holmes?
I admit that I did not rape anybody.
Okay, well, how do you explain her getting a sexual disease from you?
I was never diagnosed with a disease.
Okay. Were there any drugs in your life at that time?
I was using drugs, yes, sir.
Okay, what were you using?
Sir?
What were you using at that time?
Marijuana, cocaine.
Okay, have you ever had any treatment for your marijuana or cocaine problem?
No, sir.
Okay. You feel like you're an addict?
No, sir. I haven't used drugs since I've been incarcerated, and I didn't have a problem.
Okay.
I use casually.
You know, I'm gonna go back to you. So are you saying that nothing happened between you and Miss Holmes? Is that what you're telling me?
I didn't rape anybody, sir. I'm not saying nothing happened. I'm saying I didn't rape anybody.
Okay, well, a 7-year-old can't give you consent. Did you have any contact with Ms. Jones that was inappropriate?
Yes, sir.
Sir, what did you say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your static 99 is a moderate risk, that's also a little concerning because most of them grade out just low, but you grade out as a moderate risk. You do have the sex offense on your record from 2016. Where would you live if you got out?
I would be in Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Who you gonna be living with?
My girlfriend.
Where's she at today?
Work.
She knew you had the hearing, she couldn't come?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no further questions. Does either my colleagues have a question?
Mr. Jones, excuse me, Ms. Renata, did you want to go first?
I do not. No, I have no questions. Thank you.
Mr. Jones, you pled guilty to forcible rape, but you're saying now that you didn't rape anybody. Do you know why that charge was rape?
No, sir.
You think you're a sex offender?
I was charged as a sex offender, yes.
Are you a sex offender?
Yes, sir. I was charged as a sex offender, so yes, I'm a sex offender.
Okay, I want you to hear, I want to hear it. I want you to answer without saying what you was charged with. Are you a sex offender?
Yes, sir.
How many times did you have a sex with this 7-year-old?
Damn, one time, sir.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay, I have no questions either. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll go first since I was assigned this case. You know, Mr. Jones, you definitely 100% need your sex offender treatment class. I don't think you understand things. First off, the 7-year-old cannot give you permission. So my vote today is to deny. No sex offender treatment, your history in 2016 and your moderate risk on your sex offender static 99, along with opposition from law enforcement. My vote today is to deny. Mr. Knoxon?
Yes, Mr. Jones. There has also been opposition expressed by law enforcement and the Attorney General. So based on that, my vote today is to deny your parole.
Mr. Prey?
Yes, sir, Mr. Jones. You're either in denial or you're dim-witted, and you need to figure out which is which. And I'm in denial. I think you need to face up to what you did, the seriousness of it, before you should even be released at your full-time date in 28. But that's not up to me. But I'll quit the sermon and tell you denied.
All right, today your parole has been denied. Good luck to you.
All right.
We are signing out at Natchitoches Parish Detention Center.
Okay, so now
It's got a glare. Yeah, you just sit and hold it. Okay, well, there you go. Yep, there we go. Good luck. Can I push that? Close a little
We
bit?
will be going to Evolves Correctional Center for Women. My name is Pete Freeman. I will be the acting chair. Along with me is Ms. Renatza and Mr. Prater. We will be your members today of the board. Would the staff at Evolves Correctional please introduce yourself?
Hello, good morning.
Your name, ma'am?
Megan Diavio, the warden.
Okay. How you spell your last name, Megan?
DIAVILLE.
Oh, DeVille. Okay. All right. Thank you for accommodating us today. Today we're here for the parole hearing on CHRISTY FOWLER. Ms. Fowler, would you state your name and DOC number for the record?
Christy Lynn Fowler. My DOC number is 769564.
Okay. Ms. Fowler, today you have no one here in favor or against. I just wanted to note that no one that has showed up personally. So tell me why you think we should let you out today, and what was your problem? Why are you in there?
My problem was I turned towards alcohol for all stressful situations in my life, and it took me to get sat down here to really get my full attention to get a hold on me. And if I wouldn't have got here, I believe I'd be dead now, or possibly somebody else. Since I've been in here, I have looked at life in a more positive way. I have learned a lot from the classes I participated in and completed, way more healthier, safe ways to deal with my pain and my depression and anger and life stressors, instead of turning to alcohol or drugs and getting behind the wheel of a vehicle, which led me here. I'm a more positive person today. I understand life situations better with a more positive outlook than being angry about things. I see that there's more in life. There's more positive things and a better plan for me in life than the road I was going down.
Okay. All right. Warden, do you have any comments that you would like to make about Ms. Fowler?
I would, sir. She has worked with me. I've been here for 2 years now. When I started off in the kitchen, and she was one of my cooks there, lead cooks. Did very well, very respectful. A few months later, she got approved for work release, and she did excellent out in the public, working. All her supervisors, managers loved her. She's done very well. She's very positive. She does very good.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
No complaints, no discipline or anything on her.
Okay.
And in the last 2 years, I've seen a lot of change in her. She's one that I do bring up to the front to help me in the front office when needed, because I can trust her and trust her around the public when public comes through to greet them and everything.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Okay, your case has been signed to Ms. Renatza. Ms. Renatza,
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Ms. Fowler.
Good morning.
I've looked at your history. First of all, how old are you?
I'm 41.
And how long you been in jail?
Since October 15 of 2022. So
Almost,
a little over 23 months.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And I see you, I'm looking at your transfer history, and I see you were in AVOYELLES October of 22 and released May 5th of 23. Does that sound familiar to you?
I've been here since, this is the only place I've been since my incident, October 14th of 2022.
Were you in, are you still in work release?
No, ma'am. I work for Canteen and the road crew.
Were you in work release? She said you were in work release. Why are you not in work release now?
How would I explain that? I was actually going through some trouble with my blood pressure, and then I was feeling bad. And the lady that I was working for, she was just, I just didn't feel comfortable with her. She had got to where she was going through some personal things herself, and I felt like she was bringing them to work. And I just felt like she was on edge with the workers. And I just asked if I could please be removed, because I just felt like she was trying to possibly, I don't know, I didn't want anything to happen, me to get in any kind of trouble.
So you didn't get a write-up, but explain this note. I saw a note in your file, and this is from the work release coordinator. Does not take orders or criticism well, doesn't feel comfortable as an inmate worker.
That was when she had called you an inmate in front of the public.
The only thing I could think of was when the manager lady, she called me inmate out loud in front of the customers. And I just chose not to go back and forth with her. So I called my TWP officer, which is Miss Megan, that is the warden now, and asked her if she could please just come pick me up so it didn't escalate any further. And possibly
and that's when you asked to be removed?
Yes, ma'am, because she just kept coming back and forth with me, and I just didn't want to say anything that possibly could come out wrong or be used against me. So
right, I understand. I'm just, you whenever you get out, you're going to have some challenges because you are a second felony offender.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, and you've done about 2 years of a 10-year sentence, and this is your 4th DWI?
Yes, ma'am.
You've done any time in Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
How much time you did there?
It was a 45-day sentence, but I done 39 days on it.
And that's where you got your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd DWI in Texas. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And I see in September of 2009, the 3rd received a 10-year sentence. It was suspended, and you got 3 years of probation. And you're saying the longest amount of time you served was how long?
39 days.
39 days on a 10-year sentence?
No, ma'am. I was on probation, felony probation. That's why I'm here now.
Oh, okay, I get it. The 10 years was suspended and you were on probation. And how did you do on that probation?
That's why I'm here. I got another charge. It was almost 2 years after I got sentenced for that and got the 10-year sentence, the suspended, the 3 years probation, and then that's what led me here. That's what got me. Texas terminated that when I came here.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it didn't look like there was any. I see the arrest 2009 DWI 3rd, and then in October of 22 is when this one happened.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I was wondering what was going on with you for all that time in between. You were just lucky.
I mean, I done time here and there, but not long term. That's why I said this here was a true wake up call for me, because I realized that I was selfish. I put my own life in danger. I put others in danger. And I feel like this was not really a punishment, but a blessing at the same time, because I feel like if God wouldn't have sat me down here, I wouldn't have straightened up and got sober and participated in meetings and groups to find healthier, more positive ways to deal with my life stressors and stuff instead of alcohol or drugs.
Where's your family today?
My aunt and uncle live in DeQuincy, and that's where my kids live. With my aunt and uncle, they had raised me. They don't really drive. My uncle has bad eyesight, and my aunt don't really drive.
You have 5 kids?
I have 5 kids. One's deceased, and 2's grown, and one's 14 and 16.
And it's the 14 and 16-year-old that live in DeQuincy?
Yes, ma'am. And I have 2 grandbabies.
Well, I would say, yes, I agree with you. It's a blessing. The note I made on the record, on my notes, well, you were lucky no other vehicle was involved in the wreck, I guess, and that has been no fatalities. We just had a case earlier today where it was terrible and there was a loss of life. Are there any drugs also involved? Were you
No,
also
ma'am.
just alcohol?
Just alcohol, yes, ma'am.
And when you got in this wreck, you told the police that you drank 1 daiquiri beforehand. Is that true?
It was a very strong daiquiri. It was a adult triple shot. Yes, ma'am. That's a lot of alcohol in that 1 cup.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to clarify that. There is some strong opposition, as you can imagine, based on your history and your behavior. The sentencing judge is opposed. The district attorney is opposed. The district attorney says you present a continuing danger, and the sheriff is also opposed. And, I just have learned in the record that you're still on probation in Texas. They didn't end it. It doesn't end until May of 2025.
So how
For
does
your
that
information.
Terminated it for work release? Remember, I have the paperwork.
Well, our records don't reflect that. It shows.
Yes, ma'am. I have the
still on
paperwork where they
probation.
dismissed it and said that I do not have to contact them. They have no more doings with me after I get released.
Who is Kenneth Scott?
It's a family friend. I've known him for like 12 years.
And that's where you plan to live?
Yes, ma'am.
What about your children?
They live with my aunt. My aunt has custody of my kids.
Okay. All right. Frankly, I'll be honest, it's not voting time. I'm sure my colleagues have some friends, but I don't think 2 years is sufficient based on your history. So I would defer to my colleagues to see and listen to what they have to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Prater, you have any questions?
Questions?
Okay. The only thing I'd like to ask about, with that work release, obviously you didn't want to argue with the lady, so you did what you were supposed to do. But back in 2008, what is this assault with bodily injury to a family member?
I honestly I don't remember, sir. I don't. 2008.
Yeah.
2008 was when my son was born. The only thing I remember in 2008 was when I was living in Texas with my youngest daughter's daddy. There was a domestic dispute. It was where my brother had showed up and ended up getting shot by somebody. But I didn't physically do anything to anybody, but because I was there. But I don't recall ever me personally assaulting anybody.
Okay, I just was curious. Okay,
Yes,
is the panel ready to vote?
I am.
Mr. Renata?
Ms. Fowler, I was glad to hear what the warden had to say about you. I can see that you are making progress and you're getting you have some personal growth. I still think you have some to do though. I was pleased to see you were baptized last year. I'm sure that made a difference in your life as well. You have no write-ups. But I don't think it's sufficient time, considering your history, that you've only served right at 2 years of a 10-year sentence. And you have a release date, a mandatory release date, less than a year away. So I would hope that you use this time to continue to grow and learn and figure out your transition plan so that you can continue to remain sober. They have some resources there to help you out with that. So good luck to you. My vote today is to deny for those reasons.
Yes, ma'am.
Prater?
I concur. My vote is to deny. You're going to be getting out in less than a year anyway. And I think that you'll take that year to continue to grow, and I congratulate you for the growth that you've had. I really do. I don't want you to be discouraged or us to think that you just a quote inmate or just a quote prisoner, like you might have gotten the impression from that lady. You're a person, and you're doing better, and you're doing good. As a matter of fact, not just better, but I think in this case that for the safety of the public, I want to make sure, and I think less than a year is not too long to wait. I vote to deny.
Yes, sir.
And I concur with my colleague, but I wish you the best of luck. I think you're headed definitely in the right direction. So today your parole has been denied, and we will be signing out of a Balls Woman Correctional. Thank you.
My day is 5 days from my parole date anyway.
Oh.
So
All right, the parole board is back in session. My name is Pete Freeman. I am the acting chair. On the panel with me today is Mr. Prater and Ms. Renatza. We are here for the parole hearing of Johnny Norris. Would the staff at Madison Parish please introduce yourself?
Yeah, I took it off.
Well, what staff is in there?
Correction Officer Davis.
Okay. All right, Mr. Davis, could y'all try to turn the screen over? He's upside down. Yeah. Well, we did too far. You had it right first one. Yeah, good. All right. Okay, so as I stated prior, we're here for the hearing on Johnny Norris. Mr. Norris, please state your name and DOC number.
Johnny Ray Norris Jr., DOC number 754438.
Okay. And Mr. Norris, I'm gonna read some information into the record. Advise me if you think anything is off. You are a second felony offender. You have a parole date of 3/12/24. You have a good time date of 8/6/25. You have a full term date of 9/12/2034. You're serving a total of 14-year sentence on the convictions of second-degree battery, possession with intent to distribute cocaine, resisting an officer, possession of methamphetamine, that was a probation violation, and possession of methamphetamine, also a probation violation. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Norris, today you have no one here speaking on your behalf or in opposition. So tell me, what did you do to get yourself put in jail, and why do you think we should let you out today?
Well, I was in possession of cocaine that somebody had something to get for him, and I got caught with it on me, and the officer grabbed my shirt and I snatched away from him, and I dropped the cocaine on the ground, and we had a struggle, and I got beat up, and arrested me. I admit to the drugs at that time. I was guilty, and brought me to jail.
Okay, and what about the charge of second-degree battery? Tell me what happened there.
Well, I took a best interest plea, they told me, but I didn't commit the crime, but I was there. And the best interest for me to take was to take the charge. And I admitted to it that I didn't, but I didn't do it. But that's it. Okay.
Okay, your case has been assigned to me. How old are you, Mr. Norris?
49.
Okay, and how many years have you served on this 14-year sentence?
5 years, where I did 13 months, and then I violated my probation, and I've been in jail for 3 years since then. For like 4 years and something. 4 years, yes.
Right? Good time date's not till 34. All right. So you saying that if there wasn't no fight between you and the victim, Mr. Tim?
Mr. Tim, no, sir, it was somebody else, but I was at the scene, and the lady come out her house, and she seen me. The other guy took off running, and when she come out the house, she seen me, and then she called the police and said it was me. And I was trying to tell her it wasn't me, it was her nephew, but she didn't want to hear that, and she called the police and said it was me.
Okay, why were they fighting?
Cause a friend of ours, he had OD'd in his car and he accused the guy threw him left him in the ditch and took his money and stuff. And the guy that accused him of doing it, and that's why they were fighting.
Okay, so it had nothing to do with your ex-girlfriend?
No.
Did he date your ex-girlfriend?
No, well, I was at her house. How it looked like I did it because I was at her house and she asked me to leave because she about to have company. But I didn't know he was the guy that was coming over. But her nephew was on the top of the hill talking, and the guy walked by and he said, "That's the guy right there that threw our friend in the ditch and left him for dead where he died. Left him in the ditch, and he said he about to get him and started chasing him and he beat him up. And I was following him to the scene, and when I was standing there when she opened the door, I was there."
And did you try to stop the fight or intervene, or you just watched?
I just watched. I didn't stop the fight. Okay. And he took off, and then when she opened the door, I was standing there, and it seemed like I'm the one who did it, but it wasn't me.
Okay. The guy was beat pretty bad. I mean, he received a broken jaw, nose, fractured ribs, facial cuts. He has blurred vision even today. So it sounds like a pretty bad beating, but you claim you had nothing to do with it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I was at the scene, bro.
Where are you going to live and where are you going to work?
Well, I'm going to live at my mother's house. She's at home by herself right now. She's 83, and I was going to live with her. And there's a couple of guys I worked for when I was out there. Like I worked on the farm, and I know he'll hire me back because I was a good worker. We living at 130 Shepherd Drive if I make parole.
Okay. You ever had any drug problem?
Yes, I had in like 2011.
Okay. Did you ever receive any treatment for your drug problem?
Yes, I went to rehab in Brookhaven, Mississippi. There for 30 days.
When was that?
In 2012, 2011, 2012.
Good, but these offenses for your drugs occurred in what, 2021 and 2019?
Yes, sir.
So the treatment must not work, correct?
The drug wasn't for me. I had went and bought it for somebody else. Well,
not right, huh? You buy it for somebody else, you're not going to even use, and then you're going to get a charge.
Yeah, I try to make some money off of it.
Oh, okay. That sounds more like it.
Yes.
Okay. You had 2 periods of supervision, both of them were revoked. What's your problem under supervision?
You say it was revoked?
Yeah, you had 2 probations that were revoked.
Yeah, I didn't really understand what was going on when I took the charge. I was on parole, and I did good on parole. Then probation, I didn't know probation popped up. I had on probation and parole.
Right.
I understand
so
that.
It's really 2 different things, right?
Yeah, but I got in trouble. That's when I violated myself when I got caught with drugs on me.
And you said that officer grabbed your shirt?
Yes, sir. He grabbed my shirt and I pulled away from him. And he continued. I got beat up pretty bad too. And I hit him in my jaw, and I had my knee on my back, and I couldn't breathe. And I was trying to get up off the ground, but
all right. We got a lot of letters in support. You had good comments from the warden. What kind of classes have you taken? I didn't see many classes.
Well, since the beginning, trying to get in classes, but I was in a Caldwell for 8 months. And when I took my time, the lady was about to put me in the classes, but the major asked me, do I want to go to work? And they sent me to the Quincy City Jail. But he said thought they had classes, but they didn't have classes when I got there. And I stuck it out. I stayed there for 2 years. I did pretty good there. And the guy that's over the city worker, he offered me a job when I got out.
Okay. Let me ask you,
and they don't have classes here where I'm at now.
Madison doesn't have any classes?
No, sir. They just have classes on the where they like with certificates you can get on the tablets. I had done a few of those, like anger management and money basics and parenting class, but you don't get credit for it. You just get a little certificate.
Yeah. All right. So they don't have anybody there that can answer that question. I was going to answer. Okay. I also should note for the record that the DA, sheriff, and chief are opposed. The family members, Miss Mary Norris, is unopposed. The victim, Mr. Timms, declined to write a statement.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no further questions. Any of my colleagues have any questions?
I do not.
I need to ask, yeah, we didn't talk about the distribution of methamphetamine. You got 2 counts of distribution of meth that you actually sold to undercover agents. Is that correct? Or sold to a confidential informant in the presence of undercover agents, correct?
Yes, sir. That's the charge I got before I come to jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's part of why you're in jail right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you got 2 charges of possession of or distribution of methamphetamine. Got a charge of possession of cocaine, correct? And 1 of marijuana. That's 4 drugs.
Marijuana.
Okay. Didn't you have some marijuana charge also?
No, sir.
Okay. I thought I read something in there about some marijuana being present. They may not have charged you with it. All right. Let me ask you about the officers. You're making it sound like that you just pushed the officer's arm off. And that it's the officer's fault because they threw you down and put a knee in your back where you couldn't breathe. Tell me exactly what happened when they tried to arrest you and why you didn't submit to their legal arrest.
Well, he told me to put my hands on the car, and I did. And I had the drug I had in my pocket. I dropped it on the ground, and he asked me what it was. I told him it was cocaine, and he grabbed my shirt and pulled away. I'd never been handled like that before, and I just pulled away from him, and he grabbed me and threw me on the ground. And I was trying to get up off the ground, and I couldn't get up.
So you've never been handled like that?
No, sir.
You are. That policeman handled you rough when he went to arrest you, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did they end up tasing you or not?
Yes, sir. I got tased in the back twice.
Okay. But you pled guilty to resisting arrest.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then the beating of that fella, the man said that it felt like there were probably 2 people beating on him.
It wasn't. It was just one guy.
Just
I was
one.
there.
But you pled guilty to that.
Yes, sir. The lawyer told me my best interest was to plead guilty.
It's been a strange day for us on the parole board because you're the 3rd one that's come up here and said that you didn't do it, but you pled guilty because it's your best interest.
Oh, man.
Ain't that something? That's a coincidence, huh?
No,
Are there any other questions? Thank you, sir.
All right, panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, you know, it's this has been a strange day. Mr. Norris, you claim you didn't beat the guy up. You also claim all you did was jerk away from the police officers. But your probation and your parole were revoked because of your new charges. And you had, due to your poor performance under supervision and lack of time served, my vote is to deny. Mr. Prater?
Yes, sir. I concur to deny. Your good time date is 8/2025, so you're gonna be out in less than a year anyway, correct?
Yes. Yes,
And
sir.
it's not because of the parole board, that's not because of the police or the DA or the judge, it's because the state of Louisiana allows you to get out, but those laws have changed. So next time you get arrested, if you do, and I hope you don't, because I hope you've learned a really tremendous lesson. Next time you get out, it ain't gonna be this good time deal. So you might ought to, and if the police go to stop you when you do get out, you might ought to submit to them instead of resisting arrest. I
Yes.
vote to deny.
Okay. And Ms. Renata?
Yeah, Mr. Norris, I agree with my colleagues. My vote today is to deny. You have a poor supervision history. There's opposition that's been expressed in the proximity of your good time release date. Wish you well, though. Good luck.
Okay.
Okay, good luck to you. Your parole has been denied today by a vote of 3-0. We are signing off now, and we thank Madison Parish for their hospitality. That the parole board will be concluded.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, we can just go on back up.